The Last of Us is a game that is liked by a lot of people, excessively liked. That's why nobody realizes about the terrible mistake in the story of this game. I accuse The Last of Us of having a forced story. The interesting story between Joel and Ellie should never have happened in a logic succession of events. I'm gonna explain you the reason of my affirmation. As we know, the leader of the Fireflies asked Joel and Tess to take Ellie from Boston's quarantine zone to the capital, and promised lots of weapons to them after they complete their mission. Once they arrive to the capital and find the Fireflies team that was waiting for Ellie all dead, Tess reveals that she was infected in the way. When she compares her wound with Ellie's scar, she gets convinced that Ellie is really immune, so Tess begs to Joel to take Ellie to Firefly's lab. And here is the big mistakes moment. Tess knows that Tommy, the brother of Joel, was a Firefly, and tells Joel to take Ellie with him, so a cure could be found. Tess dies, and after Joel escapes from the soldiers, he takes the decision of taking Ellie to Tommy, and so he could ask him where's Firefly's lab. But why Tommy? Here's when logic disappears. Why taking Ellie to Tommy, who lives in the other side of the country? Plus, he is not a Firefly anymore. Joel doesn't know if he is where he thinks, or if he even knows where the lab is. Why Tommy, when he has active Fireflies waiting for him in the same city of Boston to give weapons to him? The best way to deliver Ellie to the Fireflies or know about the true location of the lab was going back to the quarantine zone in the same city, not that far away with Tommy. But Naughty Dog wanted to show us this cute story of survival and trust, so it chose to start this forced and insanely long travel. I don't understand why nobody has realized this serious mistake. Without this, the game was overrated. With this, the game is even more overrated. Now, I'm gonna tell you some points about why I think The Last of Us is overrated. First of all, it's not original. Another story about infected, zombies, apocalypse, immune people, pure research, exploded cities, etc. Stereotypes like the restless and insolent teenager and the selfish guy trying to run away from his past. Clichés like the immune person, people who get infected and tries to hide it, the pair that hates each other but turn that into love into the end. The same old dialogues like,
"This is something I have to do."
Only 5 kinds of enemies in the whole game. 4 infected types, runners, stalkers, clickers, and bloaters, and the 5th kind, the not infected humans. The action and fights is always the same. The stealth, learning the enemy's moving pattern until you can eliminate everybody in zone one by one, some shots and punches when the enemies catch you, that is all the game. There is not a spectacular great final fight, just another zone with enemies you gotta defeat with stealth. The final fight is versus not infected humans. When you go with partners like Ellie, Bill, Tess, Henry, they are invisible for the enemies when you go with stealth. Your partners can touch the enemies, but they won't realize. It's ridiculous. That's all I want to say. Bye.